Okay, as we prepare for today's paper, that is English, I want us to go through certain articles or certain writings that we may expect in our exams. So please, I want you to watch this video up to the end. So make sure, be with me as we go through this paper. Okay? Okay, the other thing I want to tell you is that I'm sorry that I've come a bit late. This was because of electricity. We had power outage and it has just been installed, so that's how I have come online. And then without wasting your time, I'm sure you have to list. So for those who are watching, please watch with me as I'm going to talk about certain articles that you should expect in an exam. So please watch up to the end and also be very active in the comment section. So in case you have got a question, please, you can ask me in the comment section and I'll be there to answer you. Okay, so I know we have friends that can also be interested in this video. Please make sure that you share this video with your friends so that they can also join us as we go through those. Please, here is the head start. Before I even go into details, I'm not sharing leakage. I'm not sharing leakage. In fact, I'm against leakage. Instead of you wasting time looking for leakage, I'm not giving out leakage. I'm just trying to make use of the time before we write the exams to revise and to remind ourselves about certain articles that we may have forgotten. So please, in case you are looking for leakage, please, you may be at the long channel. Here I'm just going to remind you a few things about the articles that you may be expecting in the paper. So if you're looking for leakage, please, I'm not going to give you that. I don't have. So please, these articles I'll share with you, they have nothing to do with what will be coming in the morning in the English paper 1. They have nothing to do with that. I haven't. If in case there is formal letter, informal letter, semi-formal letter in the paper, please, it's just out of guesswork. If there is any other article that will come, maybe narrative, composition, anything that they'll ask you to do, please, it has nothing to do with what I'm going to explain now. So there is no instance of like for leakage or anything. So please make sure, if you are looking for leakage, I just have to tell you that you may be at a long place. Okay, so sorry, I was just trying to also share in groups. So let's get started. So first of all, like I apologized earlier on that sorry that I've come a bit late. Sorry, it's because of Zesco. We did not have power. We had the power outage. So sorry. Anytime starting from 18 hours immediately we have power, I'll be going live every day talking about the subjects that will be covered the following day. Like today, I'm talking about today's paper. Again today, in the evening of today, if we're going to have electricity starting from 18 hours, I'll be going live talking about revising through the papers of tomorrow. Okay, so I'll be talking about those topics that are in that subject. So make sure you make a date with us. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to subscribe. Without wasting your time, I know you need to rest. Let's get started. I'm going to try to be a bit fast, or I want you to do easy. You also try to follow me as I explain. Please make sure you ask the questions in the comment section. I'll be there to respond. So let's start with the types of letters. Okay, so before I give you the 3 types of letters, I want you to tell me the 3 types of letters that you know in the comment section now, so that we interact. Remember, if I just start giving you answers without you participating, it won't be helpful to you. So it is more help if we keep on interacting, we keep on talking. So if you can be writing your answers in the comment section, I'll be glad to be responding to those answers. Okay, so please, I'll be with you as we go through. I'll be with you in the comment section as I teach, or as we revise together, because I'm not really teaching, I'm just revising with you, and I know for sure you know something. So that's where I can start from what you know, then I just add on. Okay, so what are the 3 types of letters? Okay, so I've given you that. We are going to talk about, I've given you already a number of types of letters we're going to talk about. So you can just write in the comment section the 3 types of letters that you know. Okay, so what are the 3 types of letters that you know? Okay, so okay, so the 3 types of letters are: 1, informal letter; 2, semi-informal letter; 3, formal letter. So these are the 3 types of letters, and these are the letters that you should expect in an exam. They may ask you to write a informal letter, then they can also ask you to write a semi-formal letter, or they can still ask you to write a formal letter about something, about job, about anything. Okay, so what is informal letter? Okay, so what is informal letter? Okay, so let's talk about informal letter as the first letter that is being mentioned on top. But before we talk about informal letter, I want you to tell me, what is informal letter? Whom do you write informal letter to? Okay, how is it? Okay, write anything in the comment section. Please, let's keep on interacting so that we learn together. Okay, so let me start with the informal letter. So informal letter, what is informal letter? So how can I define informal letter? Okay, so the way I can define informal letter is like this. An informal letter is a personal letter written to a friend or friends, family members, or close friends or acquaintances. Okay, unlike formal or semi-formal letters, it does not follow strict rules of format and tone. Okay, strict rules of format and tone. It is more relaxed, expressive, and conversational, often reflecting the writer's personality and emotions. Okay, so that is what informal letter is. This one is just a letter that you can write to your friend. It has no structure. Okay, and there is no strictness of language. Okay, if as long as you are writing to your friend, you can use the language that you use as friends. Okay, so during the exams, now let's talk about exams. During exams, we expect you to write the letter with the good English, with the standard language that examiners are going to understand. But basically, the examiners won't have they won't be strict following the rules how you wrote it. No, this one, it is a freelance form of writing where you write according to your personality. As you have seen, it is saying it brings out your personality and emotions. Okay, so what are the characteristics of an informal letter? Okay, so I'm going to share with you only the main characteristics of informal letter. 1, personal tone. This one is friendly, home, and casual. Okay, when I say it's friendly, home, and casual, this one does not follow. You can use short form of words, you can use anything, it's just casual, you can use any language. Okay, that cannot be considered in formal letter, but here you can use any language. Remember, you're writing to your friend or someone that is close to you or someone you share a relationship. Okay, so you are writing to that person who is your friend, then you can use any language, the language that you express. But during the exam, please make sure you write the proper English. When you're writing the letter, you use proper English. You use the standard English that is acceptable in class. Don't use the one that you use with your friends. However, the examiners, they are not going to be strict in following how you have written it. Okay. The other point is it can include jokes, emotions, or personal stories. Okay, so you can put jokes in there as long as you have used the standard English, but you write jokes, it's okay. It is acceptable and you are going to get marks. So this one has not much to worry about when you are asked to write informal letter. Okay, so it has got also, we come to point 2, which is flexible structure. Okay, so there is no strict format required. Like I said earlier on, there is nothing like there is strict format how you write it. No, this one has no strict format on how to write it. Okay, and this one, in terms of structure, it usually includes sender's address and date. Okay, these are options in casual letters. Okay, but during the exams, you include sender's address. Okay, on the top side, on the right top of the paper, that's where you write your address. Okay, it also has salutation, e.g. dear John, hi ma'am, my dearest friend. Or you can use these salutation, it's okay. And then it also has got the body, which is free flowing. It can be descriptive, narrative, or conversation. Okay, so I'm going to talk about descriptive writing and narrative writings. As we go on, I'll talk about these things. Okay, the other one is the closing is usually yours loving, best wishes, take care, all those things. Okay, so this one can be casual, like I've said earlier on. Then you can also put the signature or name. Okay, so it doesn't matter how you write it. Remember, this is informal writer. Okay, we are allowed to make it casual. Okay, so language style. Now let's talk about language style. So language is informal, everyday language. Okay, there is no guide on which language you use. It can be informal, and you can use contractions like short form of words. You can use short form of words. You can use slangs. You can use idiomatic expression. Okay, so here it's freelance. Whatever language you use, if you have got your idioms that you use, you can still use them in that letter. Okay, let's go to the next point, which is purpose. Okay, so the purpose of informal letter is to share personal news, feelings, experience, or casual request. Okay, so that's why we write informal letters. Okay, it's just to give personal news, feelings, experiences, as well as casual requests. So it has got no main purpose apart from those, just sharing the personal news. So let me not say it has got no main purpose. That is the main purpose, is it? Personal, sharing personal news, feelings, and other. Okay, the other one is often used to maintain relationships and emotional bonds. So this one is just used for us to get in touch with our beloved ones. Okay, so we write to them so that we get in touch. Okay, so now let's go to the other point, which is the length. Okay, so here the length can be short or long depending on the message. Okay, so you have the choice to make whether you write a short informal letter or a long one. Okay, no word limit or strict requirement. So there is no requirement here that is given. You are free to write the way you want it. Okay, we come to the second point, creativity. Okay, it allows freedom of expression, storytelling, and even humor. Okay, you can crack jokes in the letter, you can do anything with the letter. As I said on, this is a casual letter. Okay, so let me give you examples of informal letters. Okay, so examples of informal letters or situations where we write informal letters are: one, writing to a friend about your holiday. So you want to share with your friend how you spent your holiday. You can write the informal letter. The other one is writing to your brother or sister to share school experience. Okay, for instance, you have gone to the boarding school and then you want to share how the boarding life is there. You use the informal letter. Writing to your parents from boarding school, like I said earlier on, so you can use that one. Okay, writing to a close friend to congratulate them, so you can also write informal letter in those instances. Okay, so in summary, I can say that an informal letter is a personal, home, and flexible. It uses everyday language as no rigid structure and is meant to strengthen personal bonds through communication. So here, if this morning we're going to write, we're going to be asked to write the informal letter, then that means we are going to have a chance of writing the way we feel. What will be there is for us just to use the standard language since it's an exam. Okay, so you just use the standard language. Let me give you an example of informal letter. Okay, so here is an example of informal letter. So I have got the address here on the right side of the screen, on top right side of the screen. You can see there. So there you can write your address. So I'm saying Easy Learning Z Online School, PO Box 23, Lusaka, 18th November 2025. Okay, so that is my address there on the right side. Then I can now salutation there. You can see dear friend, and this is how it goes. How are you? I hope you are fine. I am writing this letter to tell you about my holiday. It was very exciting and I want to share everything with you. Last month I went to my grandmother's village. The village is quiet and beautiful. There are many trees, birds, and animals. Every morning I woke up early and helped my grandmother to sweep the yard. After that I played with my cousins. We enjoyed football, hide and seek, and swimming in the river. The water was cool and fresh. At night we sat around the fire and listened to stories from my grandfather. He told us funny stories and also stories that taught us lessons. I liked them very much. One day we went to the farm. We picked maize and groundnuts. I learned how to carry a basket on my head. It was not easy, but it was fun. My grandmother cooked nshima with vegetable and it tasted so good. I ate until I was full. I miss you very much. Please write back soon and tell me about your school and friends. I want to know what you have been doing. Yours lovingly, Peter. So this is an example of informal letter. So when you look at my letter, it has got words between 200 to 250. Okay, so you can come up with such a letter, and then if you are asked to write an informal letter. Okay, if you have got questions, please use the comment section and write your questions. Now let's go to the next type of a letter. Okay, so the question is, what is semi-formal letter? What is a semi-formal letter? What is a semi-formal letter? What is a semi-formal letter? Okay, tell me what a semi-formal letter is. Okay, so since we are a bit late and we need to list, so let's go and talk about formal semi-letter. Okay, a semi-formal letter is a type of letter written in polite and respectful tone, but less rigid than a formal letter. It is usually addressed to people you know, but with whom you maintain a professional or respectful relationship, such as teachers, landlords, family, doctors, or priests. Okay, so semi-formal letter, this is a letter that is you write to people that you respect. Okay, people that you respect, then you write to them this letter. Okay, semi-formal letter. So you have cordial relationship with them, but you still respect them. So you have got a friendship that is between you and those people you're writing, or that person you're writing a letter to, but you respect that person. Okay, so that's why you write the semi-formal letter. Okay, so we can also say semi-formal letter is a letter that falls between formal and informal communication. Okay, so the informal letter is a friendly letter which you write to your friend, the person that you share a casual relationship or cordial relationship, and there is no much respect between. Okay, and now when I mean that, I don't mean respect like, okay, I mean you interact very closely. That's what I mean. Okay, it combines the politeness and structure of a formal letter with the personal touch of an informal letter. Okay, so there is also the letter is just in between. There is respect, and then there is also friendliness. Okay, in that letter. So that's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, there is respect, and again in the same letter there is cordial or friendly or casual thing, casual touch, something like that. Okay, okay, there is a way that we treat our head teacher, and the way we treat our maybe family friend, maybe our family doctor. Okay, if you can create a relationship that is a bit closer like a friend, but there is also respect. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so now we come to characteristics of a semi-formal letter. Okay, so what are the characteristics of semi-formal letters? Okay, number one is writer's address and date. Okay, so what happens is, also in this letter, you're going to write your address as the person who is writing this letter. You write your address on the right side of this paper, so you write your address there. Okay, then the other one is salutation. Okay, greeting. So what happens here is that we use respective forms such as dear Mr. okay, Eze, dear Mrs. Osho, dear Mr. John, titles, okay. So we use that. So meaning when you are saluting, or maybe when you are greeting the person, we also put the title of the person, sir or doctor, something like that, or professor, something like that, okay. The tone, so the tone of the letter is, there is politeness, respectful, but not overly stiff, okay. There is respect, but the respect, there is also friendliness there in the respect, okay. There is it's not stiff, that like the way the formal letter is, okay. The other one is, it allows for touch of friendliness or home compared to formal letters. So there is respect, but it's not stiff like the way it is in formal letter, where there is no room for friendliness, but with the semi-formal there is a room for friendliness, okay. Structure, we are saying introduction, okay. So first is introduction, state the purpose of the letter clearly. Now remember, it's clearly. So as you write, but if you ask to write a semi-formal letter, you need to make sure that you state the purpose of the letter clearly, okay. The other one is body, provide details, explanations, or request in logical order, okay. Then after the main body that you write, you elaborate, you write the details of your letter, the reasons why you are writing the letter, you put that in the main body. Then conclusion, you summarize or restate the main point politely. So in the conclusion, you restate, you say the same thing that you have said earlier on. Again, you mention them in the conclusion. The main points you said in the main body, you say them in the conclusion, okay. So closing, which is typically ends with yours sincerely, followed by the writer's full name. So if you are John Bwari, you say yours sincerely, John Bwari, okay. If you are Mabisi Chigaba, you say yours sincerely, Mabisi Chigaba, okay, something like that, okay. Now we come to signature. So you also put signature. So unlike formal letter, a semi-formal letter does not always require a handwritten signature, okay. The writer's full name is often sufficient, so you don't need to also put the signature, okay. Now the other thing you should also consider is a balance of formality and familiarity. That is what is here. Now I'm trying to summarize. Here there is a balance of formality and familiarity. So it is formal as well as you familiarize, like you are talking to the person that you are used to, but you respect that person. More formal than writing to a close friend, okay. So with your friend, like we are talking about informal letter, there can be no room for respect. If you are writing to your friend, you can break the principle of respect when you're writing a letter to your friend in informal letter, but in semi-formal, respect is upheld. You need to make sure that you show respect. Then it is less rigid than writing to a government official or business partner, okay. So this one is less rigid than the formal letter, okay. Okay, now let's go to examples or situations where semi-formal letters are written: writing to your teacher to request extra lessons, writing to your landlord about a repair issue, writing to your family doctor for an appointment, writing to a priest or community leader for guidance, okay. So I can summarize that a semi-formal letter is polite, structured and respectful, but it allows for a personal touch. It includes the writer's address, date, salutation, introduction, body, conclusion, and closing with the writer's name. That is enough, but you can also put your signature, which is allowed, okay. So let me give you an example of semi-formal letter. Okay, so this is the semi-formal letter. This is how you write. So there on the right side of the screen, you put your address. So Easy Learning Z Online School. That is just an address, and that address, the box number is not correct. It's not the actual one, please. 91 does not belong to me. If you remember, the other one I used 23. That is just creativity. Okay. Then you say, dear teacher. Okay. I hope you are fine. I am writing this letter to tell you about my problem with homework and to ask for your help. I enjoy learning in class and I always try to do my homework on time. But sometimes I find the maths questions very hard. I try to solve them, but I get confused with the steps. When I ask my friends, they also do not understand. That is why I thought I would be better to write to you. Last week you gave us 10 questions about fractions. I could only finish 5. I felt sad because I want to do well in class. I know homework is important because it helps us practice what we learn. I want to improve, so I am asking if you can explain the questions again in class or give us more examples. This will help me and my classmates to understand better. I also want to thank you for always being kind and patient with us. You make learning fun and I enjoy your lessons. I promise to keep working hard and to do my best. Thank you very much for your time and help. Yours sincerely, James Banda. This should be James Banda. Okay, so that's how now you write that semi-formal letter. Okay, so please, if you have got questions, you can ask in the comment section because we started late. We are supposed to be done by now. Now let me rush to the next chapter. So let's look at what is formal letter. What is formal letter? Okay, so if you can define formal letter in the comment section, I'll be glad to see your definition of formal letter. However, let's go to my definition. Okay, a formal letter is a structured professional piece of written communication used for official purpose. It follows strict rules of format, tone, and language, and is typically addressed to organization, institution, or individual in position of authority. Okay, so a formal letter is written for official communication such as job application, business correspondence, complaint, request, or government matters. Okay, it is objective, concise, and respectful, avoiding casual or emotional language. So when you're writing, don't be casual. Just bring out the points, the reason of writing your letter. Okay, unlike informal or semi-formal letters, it adheres to the standardized format and is often considered a legal or professional document. Okay, so when you're writing a formal letter, you make sure you follow the rules of writing that letter. Okay, there is no way you can write it in your own way you want. No, you follow the way it is done. Okay, so basically most of the time we get confused with the writing formal letters. Majority of learners, they think it's something else. What is there is just, it has got 3 structures, main structures: the main body, introduction, main body, conclusion, and then you sign off. Okay, now let me look at the characteristics of formal letter. Okay, formal language. So when you're writing a formal letter, you use formal language. Okay, uses professional, polite, and grammatically correct language. Avoid slang, contractions, or casual expressions. So here you don't use short forms. Okay, you don't use the language that you use. You make sure you maintain the standard language. Okay, you maintain the standard language. Here there is no freelance of language. You don't use language the way you want it. You follow the standard of language. Okay. The other characteristic is conciseness and clarity. Okay. So when you are writing this letter, you make sure you avoid unnecessary details. Okay. So make sure you go to the point. Like I said, you just state exactly what you want. If you're applying for a job, immediately after you introduce yourself, you write the introduction. What you do, the second paragraph, which is the main body, just say what you want. I'm applying for, okay? Then that's all. Okay? Don't include anything. Okay? Sometimes as we write, as we are writing the introduction and everything there, we even touch the reason of writing. Then we just hammer the main point in the main body. Okay. Systematic structure. So it has got a systematic structure. Okay. So letterhead, it from an organization. Okay. Then there is reference letter number in official text. Now, as you are writing, it will have two addresses, your address and the address where it's going. Okay. Then after there is salutation. After salutation, then there is a reference why you're writing that letter. Okay. Then on your address there will be a date. There will also be recipient address. Then there will be subject line, that is the purpose of the statement of the purpose. Then the statement of the purpose. Then there is the salutation, okay, which is dear sir or madam or dear Mr. Banda, if you know the person you're writing to. So, but it's more important that you use dear sir or madam. Okay, I may recommend you use dear sir or madam even if you know the person who is going to do it, because sometimes these as you are writing, maybe the person you're writing to the manager, and then the manager will use somebody else. Okay, or maybe by the time the letter will be attended to, somebody else will be in charge. So that's why I like using sir or madam. Main body, that is the body will have introduction, main content, and conclusion. Only 3 paragraphs. Okay, don't make more paragraphs, just those 2 paragraphs, unless otherwise. Just those 3 paragraphs. Then closing remarks, e.g. yours faithfully or yours sincerely. Then signature and name. So you write your signature, then name. Okay, let's go to the next point. So examples of formal letters is job application letters, business proposals, complaint letters to companies, official requests to government officers or offices, invitation letters for official events. Okay, that's why we write the formal letters. In summary, a formal letter is a official communication tool characterized by formal language, conciseness, systematic structure, and professional tone, and authentication through signature or letterhead. It is used in professional, academic, and government context where respect and clarity are essential. Okay, so now let me give you an example of formal letter. This is an example of formal letter. I hope my texts are clear. You're able to see. So on the right side here, we have got the address of the writer. Okay, Easy Learning Z Online School. It's just a person. Okay, I'm writing. Okay, then where the letter is going, the address is there, as you can see it. After I put the date, then I write the address there. Then there is no need for me to put the date again. Okay, just I put the date on the side where my address is, on the right side. Then on the where the letter is going, the address where the letter is going, I don't put the date. Okay, then I said I put my salutation, which is dear sir or madam. Then subject, here you can also write on the subject, you can write reference or shortcut of reference, which is RF or REF or RE. okay, REF or RE. Okay, then the letter should be as follows. I am writing this letter to ask for more sports equipment for our school. Many pupils in class 4 enjoy playing football, netball, and learning lessons. Sports help us to stay healthy, strong, and happy. Okay, they also teach us teamwork and discipline. However, we do not have enough balls, nets, or skipping ropes. Sometimes we wait a long time in prayer because the equipment is few. This makes us sad and less active. Okay, so as you can see, the letter as I'm writing it, it's respective and it's following the structure. Okay, last week during our sports period, only one football was available for 3 groups. Some pupils had to sit and watch instead of playing. If we had more equipment, everyone would join in and enjoy. It would also help us to prepare better for inter-schools competition. We want to make our school proud by winning games and showing good discipline. Okay, we kindly request that the school provides more footballs, netballs, and skipping ropes. This will make sports periods more fun and useful for all pupils. We promise to take care of the equipment and use it responsibly. Thank you very much for your time and support. Yours faithfully, Joseph Mwila. Okay, so basically that is an example of a formal letter. Okay, all right, so without wasting your time, let's go to other writings that you should expect during this exam. Okay, so we can also talk about now let's talk about what narrative writing is. Narrative writing. What is narrative writing? Okay, so narrative writing is a form of storytelling that presents a sequence of events, real or imagined, in a structured and engaging way. It is used to entertain, inform, or convey deeper meaning through characters, settings, and plot. Okay, so as you're going to write your exam, there will be maybe a question that where they'll ask you to say, narrate how you, maybe they can say narrate how you studied for the exams. Narrate how you found your way after getting lost in the forest. So when you want to narrate, that is now you're doing a narrative writing. Okay, so what are the qualities of a good narrative writing? One is clear structure. Okay, so when you are writing, there should be a clear structure. Let's say you are imagining, let's say you are just imagining this thing you are trying to write never happened. So what do? As you are writing, you should have a clear structure, how it started and how it's ended, and people should be able to follow. Okay, so it should be a well-organized narrative follows a logical flow. Okay, the way things happened. Okay, from A to B. Okay, as you are explaining, for instance, they ask you to say how you found your way in the forest. Okay, you can talk about how you got lost. Okay, you can start from how you got lost, and when you realize that you have gotten lost, because for a person to get lost, they don't realize that and then. So you realize that you have gotten lost, then you start trying to find your way. The attempts you make, the way your attempts were following, you narrate like that. Okay, that's what I mean with the logical flow. So you start from the first point to the next point, and then it should be engaging. If it's creativity you're using, if you are just trying to say what never happened, okay, you're trying to narrate things that never happened, so you should be think of things that will trigger a person reading to continue reading. The other one is it should also have strong character. Okay, the characters should feel real and relatable. Even in short composition, give them clear motivation. So like I said earlier on, so if you're talking about how you got lost, okay, there should be something like that brings you out to be very attractive. For instance, like you got lost in the forest and then you meet a lion. How did you escape? Which plans do you make? That one will make people get engaged. Okay, so you try to bring things that people expect, like you are going to be eaten, then you like that. It will keep people reading because they want to see what happened when you met the lion. The other one is bring a distinctive personality. Talk about someone, the person you're talking about. Let him have a characteristic or personality that is clear and very distinctive. It's just strong. He was clever, something like that. Okay, then they should also emotional reaction to events. Okay, like the person after he saw the lion, he got scared, something like that. Okay, vivid description. They should be clear description. As you are describing the situation, they should be clear, and the person who is reading should be able to tell what you are trying to describe. Okay, so when you say I met the lion, then I climbed the tree, you should try. Okay, I liked climbing the tree, like I held whatever trick you can use, you bring out those so that people can be aware of what is happening. Okay, so this also means that the setting, look, sound or smell, things like that. Okay, so how do characters move, speak, something like that. Okay, you also bring those ideas. Those are the things I was just explaining. When you say vivid description, you make sure that when you explain people, they can picturize whatever you have explained in your sentences. This helps leaders to visualize and emotionally connect with the story. Okay, let me talk about the other points: conflict and resolution. So if you are narrating a story and there is conflict, you should also, if they have got a misunderstanding, you should also be able to bring out how they resolved the situation, because as they are reading, readers, they will be interested to know how the conflict was resolved. So when you portray that there was a conflict, make sure that you also bring out how the conflict ended. Okay, so it can be external form or external storm or internal storm. So maybe argument between two people, maybe a lion chasing you, that is the external storm. So how do you get rid of the lion? How do you escape from the lion? If it's internal, that means about fear. How are you feeling? You feel guilty, you have fear, you have not decided, anything, you feel depressed. How did you deal with your depression? Something like that. So whatever is there that is conflicting, something that a character is fighting, you make sure that you state how he overcome that conflict or that problem. Okay, then emotional impact. So a good narrative make readers feel something: enjoy, sadness or suspense, relief. Okay, so use thoughtful words, choices, characters, reactions, reflection or lessons learned. Okay, so make sure that when you are writing an article, a narrative article, you make sure that it touches people's emotion. Okay, even the markers, they should be interested. I know markers will be marking for money, but if you just write a good introduction that touches people's emotion, you may even get the 20 marks from just the introduction. So you make sure you think about the introduction as you are writing. In all the articles I've talked about, make sure you come up with a good introduction. Okay, number 6, we are saying be consistent in point of view. Okay, so what it means here is that if you are playing a character as a person who is depressed, be consistent in portraying that you are depressed. Don't in this sentence you show as if someone is depressed, then in other point you show as if someone is happy, dancing and other things. No, make sure you be consistent as you are writing so that you don't confuse readers, okay, unless otherwise. Okay, so you make sure, and you also use words that describes. If you're talking about the third person, you use the she, he. You're talking about the first person, make sure you use I. Okay, so whatever happens to you, you use I to referring to you. Whatever happens to the third person, you use she or he, so that people, they don't get confused. Okay, then what is the purpose? What the purposeful language? Use language that suits your audience and tone. Okay, so if you, like we are writing for examiners, so we should use formal language. Okay, avoid slang, overly casual phrases unless appropriate. Now it's not going to be appropriate for the exams. We use formal language. Okay, vary sentence length for rhythm and emphasis. So sometimes you can write sentences that are longer, sometimes you write sentences that are long. Use figurative language, similes, metaphors to enrich the story. So don't just use standard language. You're using metaphors, similes, something, anything that you feel like. There should be a variety, not just using dialect, like words or sentences that they have just plain meaning. You can use even other words that have hidden meaning. Okay, like he was born with a silver spoon, he was born on a silver plate, meaning he was born in a family which have well-to-do. All those things, you can use them so that they can add variety or entice the reader. Okay, what to consider before you write. So when you're writing a narrative writing or composition, what do you consider? So who is your audience? Teacher, classmate, exam markers. Okay, so the language you're going to use and how you write will determine your audience, or will be determined by your audience. Okay, if you're writing for the examiners, make sure you use formal language, and if you're writing for a teacher, use formal language. For your classmate, you can use informal language. What is the theme or message? So also you try, what am I trying to portray in this narrative? If it's courage, it will determine even the kind of language you're going to use and how you write it. Friendship, honest, all those things will also determine the kind of narrative writing you're doing. What tone fits the story? Okay, if it's a serious, humor, reflective, then humorous, okay, or reflective, you are going to choose. Okay, if you are writing a comic narrative, you are going to be using a lot of the tone of the story will be of humorous. Okay, what lesson or change will be character experienced? Again, also consider that before you write. Okay, let me give you a sample of the narrative writing. Okay, I wish I had not ignored the red flag. Okay, so this is the story. Now it's just narrative. Okay, you can write it like this. Okay, I had always dreamed of becoming a doctor. Growing up in Kafue, I spent my afternoons reading borrowed biology textbooks and shadowing the local clinic nurse whenever I could. My grades were strong, my ambitions even stronger, but when I met Brian at a youth conference in Lusaka, my focus began to blur. Brian was charming, older, and full of promises. He said he would help me to get into University of Zambia, even pay for my tuition. You are brilliant, Hilda. He would say, you deserve everything. At first it felt like the fate, but soon the red flags began to show. Okay, this is just narrative reading. So I want you also to read up to the end. So you can pause this video because of time. I am not going to read the entire passage, but this is the passage that you read. So to get an assumption, you can pause the video and read the entire passage. Okay, for those that needs to also get some ideas on how you can write narrative writings. Okay, so what you need to do is, how do you know that I'm going to do a narrative writing? Okay, so they'll tell you to say narrate how, okay, tell us how you crossed a river full of crocodiles. That is, now you are narrating. Okay, if you are telling a story of what happened, what you are doing now here, there you are narrating what really happened. It can be true or fiction. So immediately they tell you to say, tell us the story, tell the story, narrate how, write how you survived a bomb, something like that. You are narrating, so you narrate it like they will have narrated here. So what you can do is just pause the video and read. Okay, now let's go to the other type of writing. Okay, so we come to descriptive writing. Okay, so descriptive writing is where you ask to describe an occasion, describe how you organized a wedding, describe how you, okay, so that is descriptive writing. You write it as follows. So let me first define what descriptive writing is. Okay, so descriptive writing is a style of writing that vividly portrays a person, place, object, event, or emotion using rich sensory details and figurative language to create a clear and immersive picture in the reader's mind. Okay, so when you're describing, you're trying to create a picture in a person who is reading. Okay, so what makes a good descriptive writing? 1. A sensory detail. Use the 5 senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch to bring your description to life. Instead of the market was busy, you can say the market buzzed with chatter, the scent of roasted groundnuts hanging in the air, and vendors waved ripe mangoes under the sun. Okay, so instead of saying the market was busy, you can use that statement to describe. So when you are describing, you're trying to say exactly what is happening. So you try to portray a picture of what is happening. Okay, if you just say the market was busy and the person described using that, you find that the person who have described like that, who try to portray really exactly what was happening. Okay. 2. Specificity, meaning avoid vague words, be precise and concrete. When I say that, I'm trying to say be specific of what you're saying. Don't bring things that are not, or don't say things that are hanging, that does not bring a clear picture of what is happening. So make sure you don't use vulgar language. Okay, she wore a nice cloth. Be specific. She wore a kitenge skirt with bold orange patterns and neatly ironed white blouse. Now remember, you're describing what she's wearing. That's the purpose of this writing. You're describing. So whatever you say now, you describe it the way it is. You describe it. So don't just write it and then you leave it like that. Okay, so you describe everything in details. Okay, so don't just say. That is the purpose of descriptive writing. So in descriptive writing, you can also use figurative language. Okay, metaphors, personification, and richness can be used. Okay, like we can give an example of simile where you say the sky was as red as burning charcoal. Metaphor, you can also say his voice was thunder shaking the room. Okay, personification, you can also say the wind whispered through the maize field. All these kind of things, you can put them in the descriptive writing. Okay. Okay, so the other one is mood and atmosphere. So set the emotional tone in the scene: joyful, tense, peaceful. Okay, so use word choices and rhythm to match the mood. Example: a funeral scene might use slow, heavy words, or birthday part might use bright, energetic language. So the language you use depends on the theme that is of the description you are doing. Okay, if your descriptive writing is about funeral, that means you may use slow, heavy words. Okay, organization. The structure of your description should be logically. Okay, start with the most likely features or wide view. Move to details. Zoom in on specific elements. End with a reflection or emotional impression. So purpose and focus. Know why you are describing something. Are you trying to show beauty? Are you trying to reveal character? Are you trying to create suspense, or are you supporting a theme? So know why you are trying to describe something. What is the purpose? Okay, stay focused. Don't describe everything. Choose details that support your goal. Okay, so what to consider before you write? Audience, setting. So audience, who's going to read this? Okay, that's what I mean. Audience, setting. Is it in rural, urban, or Zambian, or modern, or traditional? Tone, formal, poetic, dramatic, or humorous. Okay, what are you writing? Okay, so if it's humorous, it's funny, you use words that will bring laughter. Length, are you writing a short paragraph or a full composition? Okay, so you consider all those things before you start writing. Now, this is the example of the descriptive writing that I have designed for you. So this is the one. So what I want you to do is just pause the video, go through it, read through. I've given you an example, get an idea. Okay, so here I'm trying to bring out exactly I'm trying to describe things. Okay, like let me just read the first two paragraphs. I have always been full of energy and passion for sports. My dream has always been to become a physical education teacher and inspire young people to stay active and healthy. After completing my secondary school in Chipata, I was accepted into a teacher training college in Lusaka. It felt like the beginning of a bright future. During orientation week, I met a second-year student named Martha. She was friendly, confident, and seemed to know everything about college life. She offered to help me settle in, showing me around campus and even sharing our textbook. I was grateful and quickly began to trust her. Okay, so you see, this is how I'm describing how I fell play to someone I trusted very much. Okay, so now if you read through the entire passage, you're going to get how I described, and you can also use the same way I've described in your exam. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is what is expository writing. What is expository writing? Okay, expository writing is a form of writing that explains, informs, or describes a topic using clear, factual, and logical language. It aims to educate the reader without persuading or entertaining. And logical way, entertaining. Expository writing in composition form is all about explaining, informing. Okay, so when you are told to explain something, you are trying to, like, if the question usually comes as explain why there is a lot of female dropouts in school, or explain why government has embarked on promoting girl-child education. Okay, so that means you are going to write expository writing or expository composition. Okay, so you are trying to explain or inform or clarify a topic in a clear and logical way. It is commonly used in schools, essays, exam questions, and informative articles. Okay, so here is the breakdown of the base qualities and what you should do consider when writing expository writing or composition. So the characteristics, the good qualities of expository writing are: 1, clarity and precision. So be clear and be at the point. Make sure hammer at the point. Bring out points. Don't bring unnecessary information. 2, logic, organization. So start from the beginning. If we follow the sequence, if you are talking about something, how it started and how it ended. So make sure you bring out the point, the first point, how it started, and end with how it's ended. A factual and objective tone. It should also be factual and objective tone. So when whatever you are saying should be factual. Like I said, why is government promoting girl-child education? Explain why government is supporting girl-child education. So make sure you bring out facts, the reasons why. Okay. Then focus on topic. So you should be focused on the topic. Don't touch irrelevant topic. Don't bring irrelevant topics in as you are explaining. Don't bring anything that is not related to the topic you are talking at hand or the topic at hand. Use of transitions. Okay, so connect ideas smoothly using words like first, next, however, therefore, in that way, in conclusion, like that. Okay, you can use those words that connects those topics. Okay, or sentences properly. Okay, this helps to guide the reader and improves flow. Strong introduction and conclusion. So make sure you have got a strong introduction. Okay, briefly state what you are explaining and why it is matters. In conclusion, summarize key points and reinforce the purpose of the explanation. Okay, then the other point is what to consider before you write. So the first one is you consider the audience. People are going to read. Is it examiners, your friends? So you consider that as you are trying to explain. Then the purpose, why are you explaining? Why are you writing expository article or composition? What are you trying to explain? Why are you explaining? What you want to achieve? Okay. Then tone, keep it formal and informative. So you use formal language and it should have information that the reader may be looking for. Okay. The other one is the length. The length, follow any word count or paragraph guidelines. Okay, so it depends of what you are trying to explain. The length of the article will depend on what you are trying to explain. Okay, so here is the example of the expository article, which is explain how you organized an important event in my school. Okay, so in your school, sorry, where it's written my school, it should be in your school. So it should read as follows. As a dedicated student at a teacher training college in Osaka, I was given the responsibility of organizing a health and fitness awareness day at my former secondary school in Chipata. As an inspiring physical education teacher, I saw this as an opportunity to promote wellness and teamwork among pupils. I began by meeting with the head teacher to present my proposal. Once I received approval, I formed a planning committee made up of teachers and senior pupils. Together, we selected a suitable date and outlined the activities, which included aerobic, netball matches, nutrition talk, and a demonstration on first aid. Okay, so I'm just going to read 2 paragraphs. You can read the other one. So that's the explanatory composition there, okay, which I drafted. So you can find time and read the entire paragraph. You just pause the video and read the entire paragraph. I'm trying to be a bit fast so that you can go and have a list before you go for exams. We come to what is discursive writing. Okay, so you should expect something like discuss this topic, discuss gender violence. Okay, discuss gender-based violence, such questions like that. So when you are given such a question, what you do is you write a discursive writing. So how do you write it? So a discursive composition is a type of formal writing that explores multiple viewpoints on a topic, often without taking a firm stance. So you don't decide. So if we say discuss gender-based violence, okay, so you don't take sides like who is causing gender violence. You don't take side as what are the causes of gender. Okay, you can talk about causes, but you don't take a stance to say whether it's bad or good. When you're discussing, just bring all the issues that pertains to gender-based violence. Okay, that's what it means there. This discursive writing in composition form is used to explore a topic from multiple angles, presenting arguments, counter-arguments, and balanced viewpoints. It is common in essay, debate, and examination questions that ask you to discuss or evaluate or consider. Okay, so when you are told to evaluate, that means they want you to discuss. You write a discursive composition. Okay, if they say consider, you also write the discursive composition. Okay, I hope you are learning few things from there. Good qualities of discursive writing: 1, balanced presentation. So like I said earlier on, you be balanced. You don't take sides, you don't take stance. Okay, so you just be balanced. You bring out everything, positive or negative, you bring them out without choosing sides. Okay, present both sides of the issue fairly. Okay, avoid bias or emotional language. So you just bring out issues. Okay, even if you feel gender-based violence is bad, don't bring out your stance. Just discuss what happens. Okay, let the leaders make the choices from what you bring out. Okay, show understanding of different perspectives. So you should show that the different perspective that pertains to the topic you are talking about. Clear structure. So you begin with the introduction, then use the main body paragraph, then end with the conclusion that summarizes the discussion and may offer a reasoned opinion. Okay, there should be a logic flow, please. There should be a logic flow. That means arrange ideas in a logical order, either from the strongest to the weakest, or by grouping similar points. Okay, use linking words like however, on the other hand, in contrast, moreover, and therefore, to guide the leader. Okay, evidence and examples. So as you are describing, you can bring out evidence and examples. Okay, so you support each point you bring out by bringing out evidence and examples. Okay, 5, formal and objective tone. So avoid slang, short forms, or overly casual expression. Use third-person voice unless the question allows personal reflection. So you talk as if you're reporting or you're saying something that the person did. Okay, critical thinking, go beyond listing points, analyze them. So when you state the point, you also analyze the point. Ask questions like, why does this matter? What are the consequences? Is this always true? Something like that. You bring out questions like that. Okay, let's go to what to consider before you write. So like I said earlier on, you consider the purpose, audience, scope, how many points will you cover, are you expected to give a final opinion, tone, keep it respective, thoughtful, and formal. So as you are writing those things, you bear in mind the people you are writing to, or the audience, and the purpose. You also consider the scope. So here is an example of what a discursive writing is. Lack of discipline leads to failure. So when you're writing, even if you argue that lack of discipline leads to failure, please write it fairly. Bring out the points fairly without taking a stance, like I said earlier on. Like this: discipline is the foundation of success. in every area of life, whether in school, at work, or in personal development. In the Zambian context, many pupils and students fail to achieve their goals, not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack discipline. This discussion explores how the absence of discipline can lead to failure, while also considering opposing views. To begin with, discipline helps individuals manage their time effectively. In school across Zambia, pupils who follow a study timetable, attend classes regularly, and complete assignments on time often perform better than those who do not. Without discipline, learners may spend more time on social media, watching television, or engaging in unproductive activities. This leads to poor academic performance and missed opportunities such as scholarship or bursaries. Okay, so you can read the 3 remaining paragraphs. Just pause and get the view of how you write a descriptive writing. So that's how you write it. Okay, I put them in one video because we're just going through them. It's just a revision. Okay, we come to what is argumentative writing. Okay, argumentative writing is the last article that we're going to look at. So when you are writing, when you want to write argumentative, please, you are trying to take sides and argue your point. It's more or less like you are trying to debate. Okay, so an argumentative composition is a type of formal writing that presents a clear position on a debatable issue and supports it with logical reasoning, evidence, and persuasive techniques. It commonly used in academic settings, public discourses, and exams to assess a writer's ability to think critically and defend a viewpoint. Okay, so like I said earlier on, so if we say girls' education shouldn't be supported by government, then you take your side. Do you think government is making a mistake by supporting girls' education? If your answer is yes, then you defend it by giving points. Then argumentative writing is a formal style of composition that presents a clear position on a topic and supports it with logical reasoning and evidence. It is commonly used in essays, debate, and examination questions that ask you to argue for or against, or justify, or take a stand. Okay, so if they say, what do you think about learning? Okay, what do you think about learning? Then you bring out. If you say learning is good, you give out your point. If you say learning is bad, you give up. But you can't choose both. You need to take one side. Okay, then clear position, state your opinion or stance clearly in the introduction. So if you are saying learning is good, make sure as soon as you start writing, make sure you indicate your choice. Do not leave the reader guessing where you stand. Make sure as you are starting, just say where you stand. Okay, like you can say, for example, you can say, I strongly believe that physical education should be compulsory in all Zambian school. Okay, then you start defending your point why you think physical education should be compulsory. Then there should be logical reasoning. Support your position with well-organized arguments. Okay, use cause and effect, comparison, and examples to explain your points. Avoid emotional or exaggerated claims. Okay, anything that you have heard that people claim to be true and they are not scientifically proven, don't say them. Okay, the other one is evidence and examples. So bring facts. Okay, bring facts and real life situations, statistics. You can bring those things. Give examples why you think physical education should be compulsory. Okay, then you can also counter argue. Okay, acknowledge opposing views and explain why your position is stronger. Okay, don't just rubbish what other people think, or don't rubbish the point. Make sure you counter argue the point that has been made respectively. Okay, respectfully. Okay, respectfully, you respect the people's opinion. Okay, for example, you can say, some may argue that sports distract pupils from academics, but studies show that physical activities improve concentration. Okay, so that one again, you counter argue without diminishing other people's intelligence. Okay, the other one is formal and persuasive tone. So you be respectful and formal, use formal language, avoid slang, short forms, or casual expressions. Use persuasive techniques like repetition, rhetorical questions, and strong transitions. Okay, 6, structured format. So there should be introduction, then body, then conclusion. In introduction, present the topic and your position. In body paragraph, each paragraph should focus on one argument or counter argument. So if you're arguing a certain point, make sure it is in one paragraph. So if you have got 5 points that you need to argue, that means you're going to have 5 paragraphs. Conclusion, summarize your points and restate your position with confidence. Okay. Okay, so what you should consider always, you do consider the people you're writing for, audience, the purpose, why are you writing the argumentative writing. 2, also consider the topic, then balance. Be firm in your stance, but fair in your treatment of opposing views. So don't be too harsh when you're opposing, okay, or counter argue the point. Okay, so here is the example of argumentative writing. Okay, so the replacement of human labor by machines and computers is good. What do you think? Okay, so here is my argumentative article on that topic. In recent years, the use of machines and computers has increased across many sectors in Zambia. From agriculture and banking to education and manufacturing. Well, some people fear that this trend may lead to unemployment and loss of traditional skills. I strongly believe that the replacement of human labor by machines and computer is good